Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is No Covers Live, coming to you out of the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina. We're recording on 3 channels this morning. If you bear with me, I have to get the other one started now. We're also on Anchor as well. First of all, this morning, I want to thank everybody who came out to the David Walker Economic, Educational, Health, and Culture Center yesterday. Had a wonderful time with the family and friends. Thank you for supporting what we're doing here in the city of Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm trying to reconnect back on the other channel as we speak. Having a little difficult this morning, but we're going to keep moving. I want to thank everybody for their support yesterday. I'm coming out. And I'm going to start these live broadcasts back again now that we have a place where we can talk on a regular basis. I'm not in the chat room this morning. I'm looking at the chat on the other line. I may be able to get to you if you're commenting. I may be able to call back and text back with you. Let me see if I can bring that one up on the other line as well, because some of you like to chat. So I am in the chat room as we speak, so I can see your comments. If you post them, feel free to comment. I'm in that chat room as well. I want to get right down to business this morning because I don't have long. I don't want to stay long because there's another national broadcast going on, and I don't want to interfere with that out of respect. But I did say I wanted to come in this morning. I should have came in earlier, but I had some technical stuff to deal with. And on Sundays, we'll be a little earlier next time. I want to talk this morning after yesterday's event. I want to talk about unity and disunity, followers and leaders. That's some of what I want to talk about this morning. And I did something on a post this morning, and I said leaders are leaders and followers are followers. Leaders lead, followers followers. It's the mixed steps that we get in the middle that comes into play that causes misunderstanding. There are those that are born to be leaders, and there are those that are born to be followers. It makes no difference which category you're in. If you're a follower, you're a follower. If you're a leader, you're a leader. The problem comes in when leaders overstep the bounds of followers and followers overstep the bounds of leaders. Then it becomes a problem because there's misunderstanding that takes place. So since it's Sunday morning, I want to give a biblical example of what I'm talking about so that we can get a better understanding of leaders and followers and how we can play our roles to provide ultimately what we want to provide as community is unity. That's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal of everything is for us to be a unified group. But the problem that we have being a unified group is sometimes we are not comfortable or misstep the roles that we're in. So because of that, that misstep, that not being comfortable in the roles that we're in, we sometimes miss the total package and miss the total mission that should be our ultimate mission of unity. I want to go back in time in Scripture. There was a time period in Scripture, and I always use this parable about the children of Israel when they were at the doorstep of the promised land. Here are the children of Israel. They're at the doorstep of the promised land of freedom. God had promised them that he would get them out of Egypt and they would be at the doorstep of the promised land of freedom. Now here they are. They're looking over into what's called the promised land. They see Jericho, all the cities around in that area, and they're looking. They can see the wealth. They can see the promised land. They can see all the beauty and splendor of those countries. God had ordained that to be theirs. For 40 days, they had traveled from Egypt to the borders of this promised land. And so then he gave an assignment. He said, we're not just going to go in and take the land. We want to spy out the land first so that if we come up with any opposition against what we're trying to accomplish, we can be able to better defend ourselves and we'll lose less. Wasn't that God sent the spies in because he wasn't sure whether they were going to win or not? He was trying to send the spies in so that they would lose less less lives as possible, have less casualties. When you're going into war, you want to try to save the people. When you're leading, you want to try to save the people. So you're going to make a move that's going to give you less loss of life. not more loss of life. Even though you know going in, if God is on your side, you're going to win, but you still want less loss of life. So he sent the spies in to spy out the land. God didn't have to send those spies in. He already knew. He sent the spies in to spy out the land and also to test the heart of the people. He wanted to see where they were at. Were they ready? Were they paused and conquered? Had that journey between Egypt and then here at the doorsteps of Promised Land, had it gave them what they needed, the strength to go through. So he said 10, 12 spies in. I keep saying 10, but it's actually 12. Joshua and Caleb was the other two. He went in for 40 days. A lot of folks don't know that they just went in and spied. They went in. The biblical history shows they went in for 40 days. Spied out the land for 40 days. They had 40 days to spy out all the area that was promised to be theirs, that they were chosen to take over. And they spied this land out. Here they come back. 10 of them say, nah, I know God just defeated Pharaoh. I know God just had us make bricks without straw. I saw 10 plagues, rain, snow, frogs, sheep. I saw darkness. I saw gnats and flies fly over here. I saw that. Then I got to the Red Sea and saw us trapped between a barrier of sea and a barrier of land just to get on this side of the water. And I saw God split the water open and we walked through on dry land. Then I saw the army come behind us and he drowned them underwater. But with all that, these 10 spies said, nah, we can't take them. We can't. With all they saw, the 10 spies said, no, we can't take. Now, here's where leadership comes in. See, they were born to be followers. The leadership comes in and leaders say, no. Young leadership, Joshua and Caleb, who, if you know the biblical history, Moses had trained Joshua and Caleb. They following Moses, but now they become leaders. They said, nah, I saw what God did through the hand of Moses. Now I'm telling you what we can do. We can take this land. We can take over the land that God has promised. Joshua and Caleb said, no, we going. Let's go. They strapped. They ready. They get up. They ready to go. Let's go take them. 10 spies said, no, Joshua, y'all too young. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're young at this. Moses, in the meantime, already got the command from God. He ain't saying nothing. Because he know the judgment about to come. He already done had a time with him already with the water and the manna. So he already sitting in the cut looking, he like, let me see what these cats gonna do. Joshua and Caleb ready to go. The 10 spies saying, no, Moses ain't saying nothing. Then God speaks. Because the people listened to the 10 spies that were against going into the land. After all they saw, they didn't want to go. So here we go. God takes the command. He said, for 40 days that you wandered into that land, for 40 days that you walked to get here, for the 40 days that you spied out the land and still didn't have faith that we could get across the water or get across the land or conquer the land or be kings and giants in the land. For that 40 days, I'm going to make y'all wander for 40 years. Everybody from the age of 20 plus up, except for Joshua and Caleb, we're going to make y'all die here in this desert. Since you said that's what Moses brought you out here to do anyway, die in the desert. We're going to let you die right here and rot right here in the desert. And you all, the 10 spies, I'm going to take care of y'all right now. Took them out. You 10 spies that came back with false reports, since you swayed the people the wrong way, he took them out right away. They was done. It was over. Now, what does that have to do with leaders and followers and unity as it speaks right here today? There are leaders and there are followers. If you're a leader, you must lead. Regardless of what the spies tell you, regardless of what the naysayers tell you, regardless of what the crowds tell you, lead, man. That's what you're born to do. Lead. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about how many come, how many don't come. You do your job as a leader and continue to lead. Even if other leaders come against you, you still lead. because that's what you're born to do. Now, followers, some of you ain't born to lead. You're just born to be followers. Don't get in the way of the leaders, because that's your role as a follower. Play that role in the band. As Chris Rock said, if you got a tambourine, play that tambourine like you ain't never played it before. You're not the bass player. You're not the singer. You're not the lead guitarist. You're the tambourine man. But you take that tambourine and you play it, because that's your role. And play it like you never played a tambourine before in your life, because that's your role as a follower. Not saying you're never going to be a leader, but in the present circumstances, you're not. You're just a follower. I get a good friend of mine, Brother Sam. You all know I like to talk about Sam, because Sam and me go back a long way. We had our disagreements and we've had our ups and downs, but I can always talk about him because it don't get his feelings hurt. Sometimes I talk about other people, their feelings get hurt. I don't ever worry about bruising Brother Sam's feelings. Me and Brother Sam go on a job. Brother Sam is a certified welder by trade. Had 15 years of his 20-some years of experience in welding. He knows the job site. We go on a job. He needs a helper to help him. Hey, Brother Sam, I got a few hours. I help you out. What you doing? I got to build this right here. Okay, I got you. Hey, Brother Dawud, I need you to hand me that 10-inch piece of steel right over there. I'm looking at the 10-inch piece of steel. My mind say, but Sam, why don't you use the 5-inch piece of steel? And sometimes, because of lack of knowing my role as a follower in that situation, because Brother Sam is the one who got the 25 years experience in welding, I may say, Brother Sam, why don't you just use the 5-inch piece of steel? It saves you more steel. Now, Brother Sam doesn't have to, because he could just say, damn it, go get the piece of steel I told you to get. Well, what he has to do, because he's a good leader, he says, brother, let me show you what I'm doing. And he snaps it out and plans the land. And he says, okay, here's why I need the 10-inch piece of steel versus a 5-inch piece of steel, because it fits into this design right here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The problem with him explaining that to me is he had to take 30 minutes off the job site, 30 minutes out of his time to explain something to me that's still irrelevant. Because in my mind, I'm still saying, why are you using the 5 pieces of steel? He had to take time and explain to me, when as a follower in that particular situation, because I'm not the leader of the steel project, pick up the doggone 10-inch piece of steel, hand it to him, get on with the project so we can get paid and get out of here. Now I got to ask a whole bunch of questions is why you want to not get the 5-inch piece of steel. Reversal. If we get into another situation and I'm leading based on community development, economic development, some things that I'm the expert in, he's not to now question what I'm doing. I just need him to pick up and do what I'm asking him to do. Leader role, follower role. It's not to say that the followers are never leaders. It's not to say that leaders are never followers. It's to say in the time and plan of the role or the assignment that we are on, who is the leader? And once we designate a leader, follow the leader and everybody else shut the hell up. Just follow. Once we have designated that this is the assigned person with the expertise on this task, follow and follow. Don't follow and lead. Because now we got to take time out to explain to the followers why we're doing X, Y, Z. Just follow, man. You're going to get your turn to lead, because when it's your turn to lead and you're the expert on baking a pie, I'm not going to come in and tell you add some more sugar, because I'm not the expert of baking the pie. You are. You the expert of selling cars. I'm not going to tell you your price is too low. You the expert. Sell the car, man. Whatever you leading in, you lead. And if you ain't the expert, shut up and follow. And whatever I'm following in, I'm following. If I ain't the expert, I'm shutting up and leading. I'm shutting up and following the leader. I'm not going to try to lead. Know your role, know your positions, know your stake. What that does is now create a unified community. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Sometimes you follow, sometimes you lead. That creates a unified community versus a divisive community with everybody trying to lead that's not really qualified in a particular area to lead. In some areas, we have to sit back and follow. And then in some areas, we have to sit back and lead. It's a time and place for everything under the sun, Mama used to tell me. The time and place for everything under the sun. I thank so much again for the folks that came by. I just want to drop that on you for a Sunday morning message. I got to get out of here because there's another webcast going on, and I don't want to interrupt the time of that webcast. I always said my Sunday morning messages would be early enough so that I didn't interrupt the national broadcast. I need to tune in for that today and get on that broadcast and see what's going on so I can follow. It's time for me to follow. It's time for me to stop leading and get off and be a follower now. It's time to lead. Sometimes it's time to follow. You got to know your time and place under the sun. Keep staying tuned with us, No Covers. We're at the official site now. We're here at the No Covers books and things. We have the store up front. We also have the backspaces, the David Walker Economic Education, Health, and Culture Center. The Culture Center is designed to be a fit all. It fits everyone. Is it a religious institution? Yeah. It's a social institution? Yeah. Is it a business institution? Yeah. I checked all the boxes when I did the 501c3. Is it a civic organization? Yeah. It's a political organization? Yeah. It's all. It's design is for everybody. Our differences, we leave at home. The unity we bring here. You got differences, leave them at home. Unified, we bring here. Even politics. We're not debating on politics. We're debating on who the best candidate is. And we can sit down and decide who the best candidate is. I don't care which party it is. That's the one we're going to roll with. That's the one you're going to see out front. That's the one you're going to see. We ain't sold to nobody. So yeah, it's an all fit all. It's trying to be an organization that fits all. Yeah, fit all. So let me get off there so I can get to another broadcast. Y'all be safe. I'll be back with you all weekly now. This is a Sunday broadcast, but we have daily broadcasts coming. Stay tuned to No Cover. Stay tuned to what we're doing. And again, followers and leaders, find your place and lead when it's time for you to lead, and follow when it's time for you to follow. Because sometimes leaders spend hours on hours burning midnight oil trying to come up with a concrete plan, and it would go on smoothly if that leader just had 100 followers. And sometimes followers want to follow, but the leaders don't have a plan that's concrete enough. So if you're not a leader, get out the way and let somebody else take that slot, because followers want to follow. People want to follow. But you got to have a plan for them to follow in the leadership. And they got to see something. They got to see a genuine feel about you. And they'll follow you to hell and back. Because we ain't going in here. We just going to hell and back. That's another subject for another time. Peace and blessings. Your brother out. No Covers. One God, one love, one universal system. One God, one love, and one universal system. Peace.